Currency Union. And we are talking about a summer camp where attendees, participants, they learn how to design their own chatbots. And I'll talk to you a little about that. They'll tell you what a chatbot is. If you know Siri, then that's one of the applications that is a chatbot. But we are representing the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank Generative AI and Python Coding Summer Camp. It is an amazing camp targeting young people from second form to sixth form college across the region. And they attend physically a camp for 20 days for level 1. And they're going to learn how to really code in Python, the language of machine learning that you hear so much about in artificial intelligence. And we hear so much about artificial intelligence and how it's transforming the world. And we want not to just be consumers of technology. We want to be producers. And that is why the ECCB has teamed up with several partners, including the Republic of China, Taiwan, and the Ministries of Education and private sector service facilitators, who will make sure that your young people, and it's a free camp, let me just say it's a free camp, your young people have cutting edge skills so that they can really add value when they enter the workforce, but also add value now as they're students, as they're studying, as they're forming their own groups, so that when they come out of school, they won't have to be wondering, what should I do with what I have learned? They will have real cutting edge technological skills as a platform on which they can build their competences and they can build their future. But they can also transform the future of the Caribbean, the future of the region, the future of their nations. When the ECCB got involved in the education of our young people with technological skills, the idea was to make sure that our employers don't say, well, our young people are coming out with 10 and 14 subjects, but they're not really ready for real world situations, to solve problems, to innovate, to ideate, and to make a difference for their own selves, their own future, but also the ecosystem in which they exist. So I'm joining, as I said, with my partners from across. I have Anna K. Bodo from Optronics in St. Lucia. I have Darlington Akogo from AI Mino Health, as well as from, I have my colleagues Telly Onu and Inointe. Both are technology experts in their own right, representing different areas of focus. So I want to just ask everyone to give a big shout out to the winnfm listening community, and let us discuss what AI and Python coding means for the region.
So, you want me to?
Yes.
Okay. So, well, I'm glad that you're letting me go first. I think Anna K will be happy to see that I'm going first. It's just a testament to what is and what will happen throughout the duration of this period. That's a tongue-in-cheek. I'm super excited to be going first.
It's a competition. Let me just let everybody know. The students compete for cash prizes, somewhere around 8,000 for the first prize,
Yep.
and then we trickle down 5,000 for the second prize, and a little less for the third prize as a team. It's a team prize. This year we might up the prize a little more, but we started off from 8, and so we start from 8. We can only go up.
And last year, the team from St. Kitts came first. Okay, one of the teams that came first. In fact, we placed in the top 3. And, you know, there are persons who are feeling a little bit, you know, hurt. Egos have been bruised. And they're assuming that that's going to change. Well, yes, it is going to change. The top 3, but I didn't say all 3, were from St. Kitts. The top 3 are from St. Kitts. So the change that will come will be all 3 will be from St. Kitts.
It won't happen, Anna. It won't happen, Darlington. We are at the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. There are 8 countries. We have Angola in the north, Antigua and Barbuda, the Commonwealth of Dominica, Grenada, the Montserrat, we have St. Kitts and Nevis, we have St. Lucia, and we have St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And we know that we're going to have in the top 5, because we're going to give some few consolation prizes. We're going to have
That's
a
good.
different country for each of those 5 spots.
I'm happy for the consolation. Anna, I'm so happy for you. So
So,
happy.
Anna, your St. Lucia team plays 3rd, and I'm looking forward for you to knocking off Inointe and tell you off the pedestal. But Anna, what do we have to talk about? What can our young people expect from this camp, and why would you say they should join this Generative AI and Python coding camp? Tell us a little about last year and how the students appreciated the camp. Anna?
I think she needs to unmute her mic.
Unmute your mic. Okay, we're going to go to Darlington and come back. Now, Darlington, tell us about your company. I know you were here with us at Growth and Resilience Dialogue 2024, and you showed us some amazing things that AI can do from both your health company, Amino Health AI, and your agricultural company. So talk to us a little about your background, and what can persons in other parts of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union expect to get under your company's tutelage on this matter. We're not getting audio yet. Could you unmute your mic, Darlington?
Okay, so we're just gonna keep being first.
So talk to us a little about Inointe. Talk to us about the camp. We are there. The link is out for registration, and it should be by Wednesday up on the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank's website. So we have been promoting the link through the schools. The Ministries of Education have circulated that link to all the schools. And so if you're a parent listening, and you want your young person to be part of this camp, we ask you to reach out to the schools, but also check by this week the Central Bank website when the link will be up for registration. It's free, and your young person will be so much the better for being part of this amazing. It's not just work, it's learning through fun. And they're going to learn about coding in the language of machine learning. And let me talk to you a little. Let me let Inointe talk a little about what is a chatbot. What is a chatbot, Inointe?
All right, so you go on these websites, and at least in the past, when you go on a travel website and you see a little bubble to the right corner of the screen, it says, do you need any help or some? And in the past, it was actually a human being talking to you. It was an agent that would be speaking to you and asking you if you need help and answering questions. And I've seen situations where you have to literally deploy these human being agents in your company, and they may even have that app on their phone so they can actually answer questions. But we all know sometimes you can't be everywhere every time. And we are, as human beings, we have lives. Like, when it's nighttime, we want to sleep. Especially if someone is in China trying to speak to us. It's daytime over there, but then it's nighttime over here. Do you expect to be at work? No. So a chatbot, in the sense of the word, is literally a bot, like a robot, it's coming from that word, that allows you to interact with it in such a way that it's able to answer your questions and your concerns and make you feel as though you're speaking to a human being who knows and knows how to help, understands what you're asking for, understands your mood. So if it senses that you're frustrated, it should be able to kind of start to bring down that level, just to make sure that the company doesn't end up with a bad reputation. And so with AI, with all the data that's out there, we're able to train these machines. They're not replacing us. They're agents for us. Just as you would have the CEO of a company who cannot do everything, and you start to delegate to different people, these are what this is what they're used for. So I know there are purists out there who feel like AI is coming here to just annihilate all of us. Nah, they're here to help us. They're here to give us a little bit more time to do some of the things that matter, spending time with our families, or even on TikTok if you want. Right?
And I saw this amazing quote that says, AI will not replace us. It's persons who know how to use AI will replace us.
Correct.
So the whole idea is that we need to move beyond just seeing this as a threat and seeing it as a tool, and be able to use that tool not just from a consumption, because we know our young people go on to chat GPT, but they don't understand what is at the back end and how to create even a chat bot to even for their schools. So regular questions that someone would ask, and you would have 100 of the same questions coming in for the same issue, like when is the school break, or when is the school concert, or where can I find this information. That can be developed in-house,
Yeah.
by a student, by a teacher, and then those regular questions will be answered by the chatbot. And then more in-depth questions now about your child's performance, about how you can help your child to improve and grow. Those now require the personal touch of the teacher. And that goes across any organization. I think we have Telly and Darlington and Anna now, that their mics are now connected. Let me just try Anna.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
your second.
So
Okay,
now,
great.
now Inointe is boasting, but sometimes we get so caught up in our first achievement, we forget that other persons will come and just knock us off our pedestal. So Inointe is boasting that his team came first. St. Lucia placed in the
Okay.
top 3. So what do you have to tell Inointe about what your students from St. Lucia will be coming this year, in terms of their participating in the chatbot, in developing the chatbot and being part of the chatbot showcase? We had about 80 plus students from St. Lucia. So talk to us, Anna, about what persons can expect when they come to the camp in St. Lucia.
Okay, so first off, I'd like to congratulate Inoite on placing first in the fourth place division or the fifth place division. Those are his for the taking. Um, but our kids in St.
Second,
Lucia
second.
will be able to look forward to a very engaging and interactive camp activity. We have activities planned for them, we have games planned for them, we have people coming in to speak to them. They're going to be building some very comprehensive, well built, and refined projects that they can go anywhere and show somebody that, and they'll be like, oh my God, like you built that? We even had, I feel it very important to say that we even had students from our camp last year who built a chatbot themselves using Replit and Python for a bus transportation application in St. Lucia. And they entered it into science fair and they made it to nationals. Haven't gotten an update yet on what they placed, but I thought that was pretty impressive as well. So, a lot of transferable skills, both technical skills and soft skills. A great place to meet friends, a great way to spend your summer, a great way to find micro credentials and get into the habit of, building upon your skills and your personal development independently. And we're just really happy to have everybody. We're going to be happy to see you, happy to have you, and hope that we make your summer one that's really memorable.
Yes. And just tell Inointe your teams are coming for him. For him.
Yeah, he knows that. That's why
Okay?
he makes
So
me happy.
Anna, let
we,
me
we,
just.
we're going to continue this.
I,
We're
want-
gonna,
no,
I
I
want to
just, I
get.
just want this little caveat. Do you realize, Anna, I only worked on one team last
Well,
year?
you know,
I worked on one
when we look at the
team.
mathematics, 10 divided by 1 is 10, but
10 to 1 is murder.
no,
Let me drop the
10
mic.
divided by 10
We're going off to Ghana, and we have a virtual facilitating team that will also help with some of the countries. So we have in-person facilitators in some countries, and in other countries we have a sort of hybrid where we have assistant facilitators in the country, in the host country, and we want to make sure that when we have skills transfer, we look at it in a global way because we are in a global market. And so when we met Darlington at our Growth and Resilience Dialogue 2024, some of the countries said, I need to get that gentleman to be part of the generative AI and Python camp. And we want to really make sure that Darlington, talk to us a little about you, your company, your skills, and what students who are part of your facilitation will experience in the camp from you and your team.
Yes. So, yes, well, we participated in the conference. We showcased, actually, that was the first place we showcased our AI system before we launched it. So, that's quite historically attached forever. There'll always be that connection. So, yeah, we showcased what our generative AI system can do in both healthcare and agriculture. I mean,
Talk to us
we
about your
had the
company. What's the name of your company? Talk to us. Tell us a little
okay,
background so the audience can get to know you.
okay, sure. So yes, I'm the founder CEO of Mino Health AI Labs. The name is Darlington Akogo. So Mino Health AI Labs essentially focuses on leveraging, developing AI solutions across healthcare. And what we did sometime last year, we spent about 2 years working on it, but we created a generative AI platform called Moremi AI, which can be used to do several things, including screening diseases, diagnosing diseases, interpreting medical images, generating reports. And then we even looked at use cases in agriculture, like the detection of monkeys. We looked at cancer detection. So there are over 500, maybe even more than 1,000 different things you can do with the AI step across healthcare. And even since then, we've also gone into biology. So we're using the same generative AI platform to create new drugs, new antibodies, new vaccines. Essentially, we created the world's most general purpose AI system in healthcare and biology. So we have a strong emotional ties to the Caribbean. So, like I mentioned, the first place we showcased this AI system was in the Eccb conference, and I remember someone in the audience had asked that, "Oh, I have a lot of skin condition. If you pass the
Yes.
image to the AI system, could it detect the exact condition?" And we tried it live, then it worked, and everyone was super impressed by it. Now we're actually working with some Caribbean countries, working on implementation and everything. So it's so much lessons we've learned from working across. We have about 4 different continents, rolling out generative AI solutions and everything. And so looking forward to working with all the brilliant, amazing young people across the Eastern Caribbean region, seeing how we can take the skill set, the passion they have, teaching them generative AI skills so that they could develop solutions for the region. I'm super, super excited about this. Yes.
And I should have introduced Darlington as my colleague at the conference introduced him when he said Darlington is Africa's version of Steve Jobs. So that is the skill sets that is going to be part of the ECCB Generative AI and Python camp. I want to remind our audience we are targeting persons from second form. So if you're a young person, I don't even want to say kids, you're young persons. The young persons are in second form now, or they're in sixth form college now, up to, so second form, third form, fourth form, fifth form, sixth form. Let them spend 20 days with us and you will be transformed. I mean, we had groups for the students of the camp, and we had groups for the parents of the camp. And at the end of it, the parents were, could you put it together a camp for the parents? Well, we couldn't take on that right now. But the parents were amazed that it was a summer vacation and the students were up first thing in the morning, ready to go to the camp. And if you're in St. Kitts and Nevis, we coordinate with the Ministry of Education on the school buses, and in the other respective islands, we coordinate with the respective ministries of education on transportation. And so it's not that wherever you're listening from, you don't have to be in St. Kitts and Nevis. Wherever you're listening from in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, the 8 countries, you can be a part of this camp. As we said, it's not a camp where you join from your home because it's a group project. And that helps in team building and collaboration and being part of an exciting, fun, and educational camp. And you don't have to have any prerequisites for level one. You don't have to have, you could have zero IT. So don't think it's for those students who are studying IT. No. If you are interested in making sure you acquire the skills of today and the skills of tomorrow, parents, get the link, sign up your young person. It teaches a lot. And I want to move to Telly Unu. Telly is part of the Sankits team, and the Sankits team has a lot of persons because whether persons can come in and spend a half day or a day, they're included in the team. So Telly, could you introduce yourself and give us a little about what persons can expect when they join the camp?
Hi, I'm Tali Ono. I'm co-facilitator for the camp in St. Kitts and Nevis. Ooh, last year was amazing. This year we're really going to top it. So, St. Lucia, I'm sorry. Top four is all us again.
Darlington will have a difference when he tells you about his cohort from the Windward Islands.
You have Darlington, I know you're doing all this AI thing and it really looks amazing, but I'm telling you, we're small, but we're Talawa. Trust me, these kids.
Yeah, things will be different this year.
Yes, things will be different this year.
Darlington, you're from Ghana, eh? You're from Ghana, and I'm from Nigeria, eh? So Ghana must go. All I have to say, Ghana must go. And you have two Nigerian people on this team. Nonsense, not stay there.
Darlington,
Ghana must go.
I'm not a judge, but I'm not a judge and I don't influence the judging, but I am going Windwards this year. That's all I'm saying. So Anna, Darlington, and then there's Ayo. Those are the three Windward facilitators. I am on the Windward side this
Ghana
year.
must go.
But tell us some of the exciting things that persons did last year. Tell us a little about.
I could switch. But anyway, really and truly, the camp is really exciting. I think for us, we were just amazed by the type of products and creativity that the children really were able to deliver. You know, at the beginning, we were like, ooh, we have to teach Python. It's a language, you know. It is one of the easiest languages. But of course, as with any IT thing, you would think, you know, some people were asking if this is going to be a boring course. Well, of course, we made it interesting. We had stories, and we were able to break down the curricula for the kids to accept. They love doing projects, and I'm telling you, they're always very hands-on, and this program is extremely hands-on. So seeing them together in their groups, coming up with fantastic ideas and implementing and executing those ideas was just phenomenal. The showcase just blew us away.
Yes.
The fact that they had their projects from beginning to end, pitching, this was like a big Silicon Valley stage, and trust me, they nailed it. So this year, we're looking forward to the new type of projects. Last year, they focused on medical versus disaster management. This year, they're doing tourism, finance, you name it.
Crime mitigation.
So,
yes.
Yeah. So we're looking for fantastic innovations, and I'm sure your kids are gonna love being part of it. And not just that. I think Anna mentioned it. Credentials. Yes, they actually do leave the camp with an external certification.
Yes.
In addition to the certificate we give them. So for us, it's really about building skills, but
You're dropping out, Telly.
because from the camp, it can always be hired. From the camp, they can be hired to do a lot of things.
As you said that, Telly, there was a young lady who was in the camp. She went to an interview at a law office. And all she told them is that she was part of this camp. And when she started to tell them, they said, "You were hired on the spot." She was a fifth former leaving school. They said, "You were hired on the spot." And so these are some of the real things that we have seen, the feedback. I know one young lady, she's doing a course in IT with a facilitator out of India. And when he saw what she knew, he told her, "You need to pursue this as your career. You're so good in this." And she said, "Everything I learned from the ECCB Generative AI and Python camp." And last year, we saw some amazing chatbots, from a chatbot that spoke to young people about their sexual challenges they may have
It's
in
still
terms.
up.
It's still up, but it's on YouTube.
No,
where
the chat bot is
still up. Oh,
Yes.
it's still working.
If you
Yes.
go to misskhalifa.ai,
Yeah, AI.
no, misskhalifa.com,
Uh-huh.
it's still there.
It's still there.
Yes.
And we also have all of the chat bots on YouTube for anyone to go and see. We had persons who spoke about disaster management, of how they can really use a chat bot to get some predictions on what the weather would be like, and then use those in their decision making. We had a chatbot that was multilingual, that whether you spoke with it in Spanish or French or English, it was able to respond with your queries about your health. We had so many ranges of interpretation of those three topics: disaster management and healthcare. And this year we
And
now
we
come
are
with three, as Telly said, three exciting topics for level one. They're going to be focusing on tourism, cultural tourism, a chatbot that can be used in the marketing of their respective countries and answer questions from persons and guide. I don't know how they will interpret that. There is financial education, because we know that knowledge is really wealth. And so the more that we can use these applications to educate persons on financial matters, builds the capacity and the competencies and the life skills of our youth. And then we have crime mitigation. How do young people want to be approached and discussed and presented so that they can add value to the crime reduction? And so, through the lenses of our young people, they're going to learn the skills and create an application that will have value to be in the ecosystem, in our society, to be have a utility for that. And so, these are some amazing camps. I want to find out from the perspective of preparing the young people, preparing our youth to be able to showcase their output, their products, their application. Anna, what were some of the memorable experiences from you as a facilitator, as a coordinator for the Camp St. Lucia? What were some of your memorable experiences through the eyes of a coordinator, seeing how the facilitators engage the young people and seeing what the young people were able to do and their commitment to completing the process?
I think one of the most memorable experiences for me would have been coming up to the northern cohort. It was maybe like the day before the last day of the camp, and ours ended up being a bit more than 20 days because we had interruptions due to carnival and some of the national holidays. And coming up, and one of the students pulls me on the side and she's like, "Miss, can we do another week, please?" I'm like, "Girl."
In the summer.
Yes. She's like, "Can we go for another week, please?" I'm like, "Auntie, like, what do you mean another week?" She's like, "Miss, like, I feel like, I just like it just like her eyes were just open. Like it just all clicked for me. I just want some more time. I want to work on it some more. Da da da." I was like, "Okay, well, we'll have your work on it asynchronously after the camp is over. You'll still have time." And she's like, "Okay, mister." But they wanted to stay for another week. They refused to go at their homes when the camp was done. I have to be calling parents like, "Yeah, he just left. He's coming home now." A lot of them made friends as well, to the point where they would go to each other's houses and work on their projects. They would spend time together. They had their little lunchtime activities. They always wanted you to come and sit and eat lunch with them. So it was just really like a very lovely experience. Not just in terms of the content that they learned, and they were so quick on the pickup. They really tried their best. They got into their groups. They did their work. They were passionate about it. They were hounding their facilitators for assistance, for questions. Help me with this. Help me with that. We want to finish this. We want to finish that. And then for the closing ceremony as well, we had such a good turnout. We had to bust the students up. They came up. They came in their what do you call it? Well, hands I'm sure we call it dada, like their nice clothes.
Yes.
For the, for the closing ceremony. They had practiced their presentations. They were having meetings the week before. So it was just a really good experience all around. I was really inspired to see the level of dedication and passion from our students. I was really hopeful and just I don't even have the word for it. Like, just give me a warm feeling in my chest to see that, we have so much interest here. We have so much passion. We have so many students who want to try new things. They want to do better. They want to get help with their schoolwork. They want to make new friends. Like, all of this thing about, oh, this generation this generation that, all they do is stay inside. It may be because third spaces are decreasing, and by hosting camps like this one, we're able to create a safe space for students where not only can they come in and have a good time, but they're also learning and building skills for the future.
Great. That is so lovely. Anointing and Telly. Darlington was a judge last year. So, Darlington, you have it from both perspectives. You were a judge last year. You know what the judges are looking for. And so you're coming armed and ready to punish the other camp facilitators. But Telly and Anointing, what were your most memorable experiences?
Okay, for me, it was seeing the the sheer determination in the cohorts to deliver. And when you're talking about kids staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning on a vacation, coding, calling, messaging, and seeing the leadership skills that came from
Yes.
that,
Yes.
just seeing them forcing each other to be accountable for the time that they were spending, and to make sure that in the event or in the inevitable outcome that they won. I mean, they knew they were going to win. They prepared in such a way that they knew that if you didn't put in any work, you're not going to get as much money. And they literally devised a system to keep each other accountable. And so it was amazing to see those skills coming up. And some of those skills us grown-ups don't
Yeah.
even have.
Huh? Yes.
We don't have those skills, and all we do is just abuse and bicker and complain. Or these guys are being proactive, thinking 3, 4, 5 steps ahead. But also, that's the procedural, logical mind that comes from coding and all that kind of. So it was good to see that happening. And yeah, so I also want to speak from the perspective of us facilitators. Also, this is something that is underrated. We learned.
Yes.
I I learned a lot. So through teaching comes learning, and if you're not learning while you're teaching, I mean, there's always going to be something new. And I've gained a lot. I mean, I'm gonna give Sybil a lot of um, credit for pushing this. This is her baby, right? And she's pushed this, and she's pushed all of us, and the bank has definitely supported this initiative. I've been fortunate to have taken a lot of the lessons that I learned from this and actually written a paper, a conference paper that's crediting the success of this camp. And that's actually going to be published at the University of Cayman's journal this year for AI. So look at all of that. This is the butterfly effect that's happening. She's spoken about people being hired just because of this camp. And again, I've networked with people just because of this camp and going far beyond the shores of St. Kitts. Like, hello.
Yes, it has been. It has been. What for me was memorable was seeing the reactions by the parents, because by mistake we put the parents on an app and we talk with the students on WhatsApp. We talk with the students. Phone numbers. It turned out to be the parents. And when we tried to remove the parents, they said, no, 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 no. You can have a separate app for the students. So they have a space, a safe space, because we We poll the students on a weekly basis to see how they're receiving the teachings and the experience, and then we can be agile in improving each week. But the parents were having so much fun hearing from their students of their camp experience. They wanted a platform to comment as well. And so we had the parents on one platform, on one chat group, the students on another, and just hearing the parents talk about the transformation of their young people was really heartwarming. So we want to remind everyone where the camp starts. We initially had level 2, which came out when the students refused when level 1, as Anna said, was complete. And we said, see you around in a new life. They said, no, I need to be in the camp next year. And so they refused. They said, you have to devise a level 2. So we have a level 2 for those who graduated from level 1. And they will be focusing on multimedia to create a multimedia product that they can use to promote their own country, using coding, not just going on ChatGPT or Copilot or Gemini and saying, do this for me, but they will be coding to create a multimedia product, and that is level 2. But just to see how the parents got involved was heartwarming. It really suggested that it takes a village. And that's what we look for, the village with the private sector. We had in St. Kitts and Nevis, we had the cable and flow coming on to increase the bandwidth so that the students can be able to work in the cloud and have the necessary connectivity to download and work in the applications. And across the region, we're seeing for 2025 a similar level of collaboration. We had, of course, as I said, the Republic of China, Taiwan, coming on as the main sponsor, along with the Eccb, in helping us to have the finances over a 5 year to be able to promote and develop and design this camp. And so we're saying to parents, please make sure that you sign up your young person. It's not for primary school and it's not for first formers. They can join next year. But once you are in second form to college, so from around 13 to 18 years. And the reason we say second form is there's a certain level of maturity that we require, a certain level of grounding, of learning that you require when you exit second form. You are more able to grasp the content because it is fast paced, it is immersive. It's not a lecture, you learn by doing. And so it's a project based facilitation. So as we wrap up, we have another 10 minutes or so. So I want to talk to let us know what are some of the new things that you plan to bring this year. I'm going to start with Telly, then I'm going to go to Anna, then I'm going to Inointe, then I'm going to Darlington, who was on the judging side, and now he's coming with his team. What are some of the new things for 2025? We're discussing crime mitigation, cultural tourism, and financial education. For your chatbots, what are some of the new things? Don't tell us your secrets because you know you want to knock off Inointe from his pedestal. But what are some of the new things that you plan to bring? So I'm starting with Telly.
Well, we did have a guest speaker last year, so we'll be bringing that feature back. That was really well received, and they were able to interact with the developers and their chatbots and get advice. So I think this is something definitely would be a repeat. Some new things we will, there's been a lot happening in AI over the last year. So stay tuned. They'll be exposed to even more wow things that they can use to integrate into their own bots, features, tools. We heard bots last year actually speak different languages, and now that technology has advanced, and a lot of them are accessible for free. So we'll be expanding the toolkits for them, or should I say, the marketplace for them to shop and identify what they want. For level 2, it's going to be a fantastic. You see, the way we did it was almost like a movie production. So we are going to continue that, and everything is a production. And level two, they will be producing fantastic multimedia. I mean, we're talking music, we're talking art, and we're not just talking about what they can just go on any AI and do. They are going to be developing new concepts, new business models. We're going to be pushing them on the business model because ideally, at the end of the day, we want to see their products take flight.
Yes.
Um, some additional things we're going to see this year. In fact, no, I think we'll be giving away too many secrets,
So
you know.
don't tell us all your secrets. I think we've gotten quite a lot,
Yeah.
and I expect to see for level two some great movies coming out of that multimedia, so that next time we
Anna's
talk
laughing
about
because she's there waiting to hear the secrets.
next time on Netflix, I will see a movie coming out from there.
Yeah, and then of course this year the certification will be more focused on AI. It would have some Python in it, and it's going to be a different type of very immersive, practical certification that they will be able to use to either gain a job or build an enterprise.
And I've seen some students say that they're using that when they're applying for school overseas. So some persons who are applying for a scholarship or for school overseas have actually contacted me and say that's the route they're taking. Those who are leaving, those who were in fifth form,
Wow.
that's the route that
Wow.
they're taking, or those who are in sixth form, that's the route that they're taking. So Anna, coming out of St. Lucia. Don't tell us your secrets, but what are some of the things that young people can expect? You know, I'm saying young people because they had so much fantastic ideas. I'm like, okay, you know what? I need to join the camp because I really need to be part of this ideation, this creative energy, this innovation. And when I saw the rooms, the noise at the end of the camp, we ended on a high, and the sort of noise from the challenges. I was like, wow, this is medicine. So, Anna, what can we expect? Some of the things that young people can expect from Camp St. Lucia?
Okay, so we're looking at more students, we're looking at more activities, we're looking at having more people come on board as mentors and guest speakers, and we're also looking at more prize money when we take first, second, and third.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh,
yes,
this,
Anna.
oh my gosh,
Come,
Yes,
come, guns
just
are
for you.
blazing. Well, not guns, but
oh my gosh, the delusion.
We're really looking at the
Anyway, you gotta believe
um,
in yourself, you know. You gotta believe in yourself, you know.
a revamped and refined project implementation plan where our students can look forward to us taking the lessons from last year and taking into account their level of comfort with technology as well as where they are currently and using that to create a camp that's tailored specifically for them, specifically for St. Lucian students here in St. Lucia, forms 2 to 5, or just left school, so after A level at Buford Compre, like all of them. This is for you. This is made for you, by you. We've spoken to students from past years. We've spoken to students who are interested in this year. We've taken what you've said into account and we've come back with something that's even bigger and better. And we're looking forward to having you there and having you participate in that.
that sounds so great. And part of what we do at the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank is to make sure that we have integration. And so the integration for us is our 8 member countries from Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Commonwealth of Dominica, Grenada, Montserrat, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But we are also part of a global world. And so it's really pleasurable that we are able to integrate with Ghana, with our mother country on the continent of Africa, and move to Ghana and so Darlington. Tell us what your students can expect coming from you. We don't have Ayo here. He's also one of the Smart Term. This company will also be one of the facilitators in another country. But you tell us, what can your students expect from Camp Darlington?
Yeah, I can see, the teams, and teams are taking their pen and notebook ready to write. So definitely going to spill the beans Telly is telling me spill the beans. Now we were just going to outdo everything.
Spill them. We'll make beans and rice. We'll make beans and rice and feed you. Spill them with palm oil.
You know,
And
I do a good job. I don't go Nigeria.
Nigerian, not Ghana.
But you
jollof.
know, my grandmother, bless her soul, she used to say, work with your mouth shut. So I know you're just going to just be quiet, you know, and you're not going to be singing everything. And then when your camp students come out on top, you're just going to tell to eat that.
Every time Usain Bolt raced, everyone thought they were going to win, and they told him that it didn't matter.
When it comes to Nigeria and Ghana, Nigeria always wants.
Okay. Thank you. Ghana must go.
This is different. This is different.
You don't know about
This
jollof.
is gonna be like the
Jollof
dollar
says
price.
Ghana.
Our dollar price is best. Trust me. They can win.
That's propaganda.
But we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna have a great time. And I know that I've seen the students. I remember trying to get the students from St. Lucia off the app, and they were sending me all these emojis, and I'm not up with the emojis. I don't know how they could create those, but you know, I would get emojis with hands folded and all of these emojis with their eyes and saying we're not moving and smoke coming out of their ears, that we are not moving off this app until you give us another camp. So the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank is pleased, as such as our mandate says, to actively pursue economic development consistent with financial stability and monetary stability. That's our strong dollar EC policy. We recognize that we can't have stability on the finance and the monetary side if we don't have a thriving economic platform. And part of that platform is skills. When you look at the model for economic development, capacity development, both at the individual level and at the business level and at the country level, are paramount to drive economic development. And so we are pleased to partner with the Ministry of Education, the public and private sector companies that are coming on, and as well as the Republic of China, Taiwan. And we welcome other partners. This is a real community building when you consider we are global. We're not just looking at our own 8 countries in terms of looking for facilitators or those who reside here. What we are looking for is where can we find common ground, where we can come together as a community of people who believe in our young people and want to see them not just strive, but thrive. Not just try to get there, but to get there, and to get there at a point when it's early. And so we want to see no difference between our youth in the Caribbean versus our youth in North America, in Europe, in Africa, and further afield in Asia. We want our youth to be at the same level because they have access to the same mentors, the same teachers, the same skills offerings. And that's why the ECCB is in this. We're not just in this because we want to be in this. We're in this because our mandate says we have to be at the base of economic development in order to ensure we have the stability in our financial and our monetary ecosystems. And so we thank you all. We look forward to persons joining up, signing up their young people, as I said, from second form to college. And if you have a young person in any part of in any country of the 8 islands, and you say, okay, my young person, they're 19, 20, but they would like to even be an apprentice, to come on board and to see how these camps can work and learn something. We welcome that within moderation because we have a limited space. But if we can get 2 persons come on and want to be apprentices as in terms of assistant facilitators to learn, just to observe, we welcome that. So we ask you to look to the ECCB's website for more information. And for those of you who have students in schools, if your child hasn't come, a young person hasn't come home and says, I have this link for the camp, if it's not on your school's website or your school's WhatsApp chat or whatever social media, Facebook page, check your principal of your school and say, I need my child to be there. This is something my child cannot afford to miss. So we thank you all for joining us. And we'll get a nice goodbye from each country. So I'm going to just roll the dice and say St. Lucia, St. Kitts, and then I go to Ghana in just saying your goodbyes and giving a final shout out to welcome all persons to sign up for the camp. So, Anna, you know first, you're going to be first this year. So I'm letting you go first so that you can, so the others can understand that they have to fall back.
Thank you so much, Sybil. I knew, you were backing us in this fight. But thank you so much for everybody who tuned in today to listen to us talk about the camps. Good luck to everybody who will be participating, and we're really looking forward to having all of you. It is going to be an amazing experience, and it's not something you're going to find anywhere else. So thank you again. Thank you to Sybil for always organizing and being on our backs to make sure that we produce the best work possible. Oh my gosh. Um, yes, but thank you so much, everybody, and have a great rest of the day.
Anointed Telly.
Ah na na na. Ah na na na. Go, you lose. Yeah, what better way to say goodbye than that? It's okay. Like I asked you, just tell us what kind of flowers you want as consolation. Sybil did say that there will be consolation prizes this year, and we're very happy for that. I think it's because the fourth and fifth places need love too. So we're looking forward to celebrating those positions, and that's the best feeling ever, just to see St. Kitts place in the top 3. So we can't wait.
I'm going to have some tissues for him, and Anna, when he's crying, I'm going to order a carton of tissue paper, okay? and Darlington, and Telly, before I go to Darlington, Telly.
Okay, so at this point in time, I just want to encourage everyone who's listening. If you have a young person in your house, your cousin, your neighbor, this is going to be an amazing opportunity. And you know what? This is open to everybody, male and female. So for the females who figure, oh, it's tech, oh, it's gonna be boring. Trust me, this is like your creative landscape.
Yeah.
We had so many types of creators, those who are musicians, those who love to write. There's always something for you. So I just encourage all of you to participate, register, and yeah, we look forward to an amazing 2025 summer camp.
Yes. And just before Darlington comes in, when persons asking, when will the camp start? Well, we initially have the camp to start on the 7th and level 2 on the 14th. Chances are we're going to start every level on the same day, which is the 14th, so that we can have the same start day across the islands, because in some countries there's a vacation or a public holiday. So probably all the camps will start on the 14th of July. And then they will go the level 1 for 20 days and level 2 for 15 days. So that's the 14th of July. You might see the registration say 7th of July for level 1 and 14th for level 2. But chances are we're going to start all the camps on the 14th of July from 9 o'clock to 3:30. And transportation is organized, and you will hear more. Darlington, I'm allowing the Steve Jobs of Africa to end the call to all the parents in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union to sign up their young persons and be amazed at what their young people will learn and deliver. Darlington, over to you.
Yeah, we're living in the best times in human history because of AI. Like, what you can do is endless. So having your youngsters learn the skill essentially makes them useful to the region, to the entire world, right? So if I'm being called the Steve Jobs of Africa, by the end of this event, your kids will all be the Steve Jobs of the Caribbean region. And you know what that means. They're clearly going to win. So come join us and let's really teach some people who will not mention their names a lesson or two.
Wow, I can't say anything after that. All I can say is sign up, register, and be wonderfully amazed and inspired and educated. So with all of that, I say to the WinFM family, see your young people at the ECCB's Generative AI and Python Coding Camp starting July 14th. Take care and have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you.
You found the sound. 98.9 Win FM.